Hello there, everyone. Good, great rising. Or if you're in the world and you're already up, hello. So, we're going to continue talking about getting some of this money out here, this money for our businesses, this grant money that is out here for us, the taking and for the receiving, rather. And we won't say taking, but I want to say there are some secrets to it all, and we're going to talk about them this morning. Don't forget tomorrow, which is Thursday, tomorrow evening, if you are interested, DM me. Let me know that you want the link so where you can register for this class. It's going to be Thursday evening and Saturday morning. We're going to, if you out there been looking to write a grant, you want to know how you can get a grant for your business idea, even if it's a new startup. We are going to talk about things that you won't know until you get in a class like this one. So it's going to be very, very informative for you. And you possibly, be honest with you, you may be able to get a couple of smaller grants immediately if you go ahead and apply the information that I give you. So please, please, please take it upon yourselves to reach out to me. I'm doing a small amount, and because I want to be personal with you guys, hands on with you, and I want you to be successful with it. So I'm not going to get a whole lot of people in the class. I want to be able to get a few that's serious about getting some of this money out here. So that's what I want to do, and that's the reason why we're doing it this way, this time. Okay. Now, let's talk about some secrets. And before we do that, I'm sure that some of you that know the word know it. It says, you just know it. You say, in all that getting, get understanding. That's Proverbs 4 and 7. So when you get an understanding, you got to have some wisdom behind it. So we're going to talk about some things that we're going to talk the grant language this morning. That's why I want to, those are the secrets, the grant language. So when you know the grant language and you know how it moves and how it works, so you have, and also wisdom is also saying to wisdom is also saying getting understanding, getting insight, using common sense, using discernment, using judgment, using foresight, and all of this here, using what's your perception about some things. This is all about wisdom. And it says, in all thy getting, get some understanding. Okay. So that is what that's what it's all about. So now let's talk first about one of the secrets. One of the secrets to grants is getting a grant is knowing exactly what is it. What is a grant? A grant is a financial award given by the government agencies, private foundations, or nonprofit organizations to fund a specific project. Unlike loans, grants do not have to be repaid. Let me give you this word of understanding this morning. The first understanding you got to get is you got to know that you don't have to pay this money back. So, one, there's a lot of competition when it's like this. And I gave in the video that I did yesterday some ways that you can increase your chance in winning a grant. So go back and look at the one from yesterday, listen at the one from yesterday, watch it or whatever you want to do because I was on the screen live. We learn something from that video, and that'll help you get the money. If you don't have money for your business, if you want to grow it, whatever, if you don't have the money, then work on getting the grant funding for it. Okay, whether it be in the class this week or whether you get out there and start working on writing on your own grant yourself. Now let's go into the next thing. That one of the other secrets is knowing what grant money is. Grant money. You always hear grant money, grant money. What is grant money? Well, grant money is funds provided by the grant, which have requirements, it has stipulations, or whatever the case may be. It has that. Okay. And then also, which is typically allocated for a specific purpose, such as starting a business, advancing research, or even developing technology. So, if you have a business and you want to advance some things, so you remember I told you I had 100 grants that I want to share with you for those that's going to be in the class. Well, there are grants, like I mentioned to you, in different niches in technology, advanced researching on projects. If you're doing a business that's going to require research to improve and to add value to whatever your core business is, there's funding for that. Yes. All there's funding for that. It doesn't have to be for, I think a lot of us have the misconception is you don't have to have all of this money for research, research and development of a medical institution, or medical doctors and medical hospitals. I think a lot of people just thinking researching is for that. Researching and development is for any particular business out there. Is that you just have to know how to write the proposal so it can be understood by the grantors. Now, that leads me to my next level of information I want to share with you. The grantor is the one that's going to give you the grant money, and you are called the recipient. So you will be receiving the money from the grantor, and the grantee is the recipient of that grant money. Whether it's going to be nonprofit, whether it's going to be in academia, whether it's going to be in a business. But you have to know and strategize yourself to the point that you know what grant you're going after. That's all it is. Doing your research. And I know this is kind of tough for some people because we don't like to read. We don't like to read. So when you kind of look at it differently and learn what's out here for you, your chances of getting this grant money for your ideas will increase. There's even like a lot of people that are in ministry and things like that. There are specific grants just for that. Remember, I told you the criterias are what the grantor say it is. There's grants all over for whatever you want to do that's going to benefit the community in a positive light. It's going to benefit the economy, that's going to benefit a higher good of whatever it is that the grantor supports. That's it. That's it. That's all. So now your eligibility is going to be predicated on you're going to have to meet their qualifications of the specific grant, which requires you to read. There's a lot of grants that have been missed opportunities of because people you haven't read the information. You don't know what you're missing some things sometimes, and you don't know basically translating it to what is really asking of you sometimes. That's why you need someone like me in your life to help you get there. And that's why you need to be in the class Thursday. All right. So, and if you are interested, remember I said DM me or just write the word grant in the comment section and you will get more information about it. Okay. About Thursday class. I'll send you the link. And it's $197. So if you're interested, if you're not interested, don't send me the link. If you are interested, then we'll go from there. All righty. Now, I know this one right here. Ooh, this one right here is gonna make everybody a little nervous. Guess what? That application process. Wow, that's the big. Now that's the meat and potatoes of the beginning of the process. So yeah, this is a secret, but it's no secret because you know what? You must follow the requirements. You have to have a checklist of okay, what are they asking me? And if you miss one thing, let me repeat, one thing that they require of you, your application goes in the trash can, or it goes aside. They put it aside, and then you will find later on, if you ever say, well, why didn't I receive this, follow up with them and ask, why didn't you receive the grant? Well, because you didn't follow instructions, and didn't follow directions. You didn't give us what we asked for, so we can be able to better assist and assess what will your awards opportunities be, basically. you know and it often involves, like a budget and certain supporting documents that you're missing in detailing of the proposal. And this is why I tell you, business planning, business planning, business planning, nowhere around it, nowhere around it. So if you don't want to do some of these things, then guess what? Go on and fund your own business. Totally. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, grant money is not going to be for you to just recycle and say that's the only way you're going to fund your business, but it's going to help you get places where you want to be. Just like with me, with beauty school, I didn't say anything about this to anyone, but I'm going to tell you now. I'm working on I'm working on my $750,000 grant application. Yes, I am. Yes. And everything I'm telling you is what I'm working on doing. I'm in the trenches of it now. I'm detailing it, so they're gonna be like, whoa. And I can't give you my secrets out now, but what's going on? But I'm gonna tell you this particular opportunity. It's going somewhere. Okay. It's gonna take me to that dream and vision that I've always wanted to have. So anyway, and it's gonna be for profit. Now, this is nonprofit. This is not a nonprofit situation. All right, next thing we need to know, there's a secret here, is, I think we have the misconception of what need to be put in that grant proposal. And it's going to, again, it's going to that grant proposal. It's the detailed plan submitted to the grantor. You got to outline that project, whatever it is. You got to sit down and think. You got to sit down and slow your roll, make some compromising, and get this thing on paper with the methodology, your budget, and your objectives for your whole business that you want this money for. I mean, you got to give them more detail. You know how y'all like to give details on certain things, and when your nose want to find out something about somebody else, you know how you always want to you always want the detail to that. Where use that energy and use that to you, to your benefit. Use that same energy to get the details on paper for your idea that is going to do something for you. It'll do something for you versus what what's going on is outside, outside of you. Now, after you, let's say you've gotten this grant, this money is coming to you. Oh man, you're going to get this money. There is a grant agreement that's going to come with that. This is a legal binding document outlining the terms and conditions under which the grant money is awarded. Now, I know y'all have heard me tell the story. I had one client, I was working on her grant, and I told her she's going to have to give checks and balances. She's going to have to let them know what she do with the money. It would be in courtesy. It would be, it's just rude not to. Thank somebody, first of all, and let them know what you're doing with the money that they're giving you. It is absolutely rude for you not to do that. So anyway, the grant agreement says that you should be doing that. And that may be one of the requirements of the grantor when you are receiving the funding. So don't take that lightly, that part. And she just didn't see fit. I guess she wanted to just let it sit in a bank account and do what she wanted to do with it, But anyway, I don't know what was her thought process, but we didn't work together because she had a lot of unethical and unmorally things that she couldn't see the forest for the trees, and she couldn't see that, no, you can't do it that way. And so that's another thing. If I work with you, You gonna do it by the book, not your way, by the book, letting you know up front. So anyway, that way it would be, no questions is asked. Just do things. No matter, how sometimes people try to cut corners because they're thinking that they'll be able to get more funding for certain things. Don't do that, because you can't tell a lie twice. You're gonna change it up. I don't, when you catch a person in a lie, you be like, well, no, you didn't tell me that. You said it this way. And then I forgot what they told you. So anyway, you'll be the same way. You be done forgot what you told the grantor, or the agency, or whomever is going to give you the grant, and then you get crossed up, and you be like, man, and then you know, then your opportunity may not come again for that particular, support. So just be mindful of that. Now, also, there's another thing I want to share with you: matching funds, and that's, you remember I mentioned to you guys, the state small business credit initiative program. That's kind of like what the matching funds is with a grant, because they're gonna match. They're pretty much gonna match. In other words, well, they're not matching so much as the funds. They're matching the guaranteeing of the loan. It's a loan. This is not grants here, but they are matching the guarantee. They're gonna match the guarantee of the loan for the banks to be able to be more lenient to giving out the funding under that particular program. But that's not a grant. Let me rephrase that. But that's a loan. But here again, matching funds, that made me think about that too as well. Matching funds, or either matching, matching matching responsibility, or matching support, or whatever you want to call it. That is where, now with a matching fund, the financial contributions from the grantor or the source that requires it, to fulfill the grant. So they'll probably match your funds or whatever. There's some grants that they'll match what you put in or whatever, if you got skin in the game. So that's totally different. That's not the way all of them work, but anyway. And then, dispersing a loan, dispersing out a loan, dispersing the grant money. There's a timeline and conditions under which the grant funding is going to be released to you. So you want to be aware of that too as well, in knowing, and knowing this one right here. And we'll stop here this morning. The grant cycle, I'm sure you will want to know about the grant cycle. The grant cycle is when they're accepting the applications, when they're going to review the process, when they're going to award funds, and when your requirements are going to have to be reported. So you probably going to need to get you a little calendar for your, are going to get if you feel like you want to do this. And that's another thing we will be talking about more, of having your calendar in your timeline for these particular opportunities, that you got to get organized at this point. If you're serious about your grant journey, free grant money journey, you need to get organized. If you're not organized, you need to be organized. I have tools that I can share with you. I'm going to have an ebook for you to be able to be organized in certain categories, so where you can kind of like stay, not just get out of sync, or not just be all over the place, even with your process. It's just like a lot of times when I work with my clients with their credit, I have a timeline for them, putting down everything that we work on, and just going on that timeline and seeing, when did we mail things off, where we are, what did we dispute, what is the when did I hear from them, what letter did I get, am I going to have to go ahead and send these again, what, all those kind of things. And that helps you to stay on task with your project. That's all it is. And it helps you to stay organized. So just keep that in mind. Organization is going to definitely be required. And it'll help you to stay on track on what you're doing. That's all. So anyway, that's, hey, have a happy morning. I got to get ready for, I got a client this morning at 8:30. So that's why I got on here early. And my morning is going to be filled in a good way. So glad about it. Yeah, we're gonna talk more about this add another video, but go back and look at some of the other videos that I have up that I'm talking about this grant process and this grant information, because we need to be in position before the end of the year come and you miss out on this money. You have it's seventh month. You have a few more months to get some of this money. You have 5 more months to, well, less than 5 months, but we can do it if we just kind of like prioritize ourselves and focus on it. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad to know if you're listening at this on the replay. Thanks for listening at it this long. And if you want to be in that grant class that I will be presenting on Thursday, and then the rest will be on Saturday morning. And then also, yeah, you can purchase the replay. You can get the replay, but you have to purchase the replay. So why don't you just be in there live if you purchase it? Because one thing about it, the ones that come to this particular class, you can purchase the replay, and then the ones that don't even come at all, you will have to get it at the regular price that I will have it, and it won't be 197. So keep that in mind. Do what you do what you have to do. Keep that in mind. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully I will see you guys later and you have a beautiful morning. Take care. Bye bye.